Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's time for a new list. When I first started doing my videos about Atlanta, people kept asking me about the rest of Georgia. They wanted to know the best places and the worst places to live, and asked me to do some videos about small town Georgia. So I will. Let me start off by saying I love Georgia, and I love the people of this great state. It has some of the best small towns in the country. They also have some really bad small towns. For reference, and to help out the people that want to say things like I miss Savannah or Macon or some other major city in Georgia, a town with a population of under 10,000 is considered a small town. And that's the focus of today's list. So here's my top 10 worst small towns in Georgia. Number 10, Fort Valley. Fort Valley is a city in Peach County, Georgia. Imagine that, something named Peach in Georgia. How unusual. This place is not a great place. The unemployment rate in Fort Valley is 119% higher than the national average, and over 10% of the residents are without jobs. This place is in such bad shape that they have 4 payday loan locations and a pawn shop in a town of under 9,000. Number 9, Montezuma. Montezuma was named after the famous Aztec leader by soldiers returning from the Mexican War that lasted from 1846 to 1848. Is it me, or does it sound like a bad idea to name your town after a defeated king and something that happens to you when you drink water from Mexico that gives you an intestinal infection? I think you're just asking for bad luck. And they've had plenty of it. This town is rated F in every category but cost of living. The unemployment rate in Montezuma is 120% higher than the national average. They've got no jobs. Number 8, Hilltop. The TV show The Walking Dead is filmed all over Georgia and has a settlement in it called Hilltop. Not sure if this town was the inspiration for it, but the hilltop on the TV show is often attacked by zombies and assaulted by evil men. The real-life Hilltop has had no reports of zombies, but plenty of assaults. Its 400 residents reported almost 100 assaults a couple years back, and it hasn't got much better. You know your town is bad when it has a listing in the Urban Dictionary. Look it up, I'm not kidding. Number 7, Woodbury. Woodbury is one of the oldest towns in Meriwether County. It is also another location for The Walking Dead. The actual scenes of Woodbury were filmed up north in Sonoy, but they used the name Woodbury for some reason. I guess because in the comic books it was Woodbury, but they decided to film up in Sonoy. If you look at both the towns, I think they would have been better off if they would have filmed in Woodbury for the simple fact that it already looks like a zombie apocalypse went down here. The median home price in Woodbury is 76% lower than the national average. Number 6, Quitman. Quitman is in Brooks County, Georgia. The community was named after John A. Quitman, a hero in the Mexican-American War. I guess Georgia was running a deal on land after that war. Georgia has a bunch of towns that sprung up in the immediate years after that war. In the last couple years of doing these lists, I've learned a few things. One of them is when a town has bad grades on almost every category, one category does great, and that's cost of living. It's obviously because if everything sucks in schools, jobs, crime, nobody wants to live there, so it's cheaper to live there. Congratulations, Quitman, you have an A+ in the cost of living category. And you also have this really cool courthouse, so that's kind of cool. Number 5, Collins. Good news, Collins, Georgia has an A+ grade for cost of living. And if you've been watching this list from the very beginning, you know that's not good. Collins has all the things you need to be a crappy small town. It's out in the sticks, has a bunch of shuttered businesses, and a Dollar General. It also has another store that gets a great rating. Janet's Grocery gets 5 stars from a man named Harry Ween. That's his name. Harry Ween, W-E-E-N, last name U-R, apparently. I think it's a fake name. I could be wrong. He wanted us to know that they have the technology to keep beer cold, and that women will kick you in the sack if you make nipple comments in the store's parking lot. I can hardly wait to move to Collins. Number 4, Hiltonia. Hiltonia, Georgia took its names in hopes of landing the Hilton Corporation headquarters some time ago. I'm totally kidding. I don't know why they named the town this. I did find some videos online of Hiltonia's only rapper. I guess he's on a really low budget. All his videos had the software logo across the middle of the screen, like he couldn't afford to buy it, so they splashed their watermark across the screen. Yeah, that kind of sucked, but oh well. And I know he's on a real low budget because the backdrop of all his music videos was either his home or the local coin-operated car wash. Him and all his homies hang out there. I looked at a map of the place and looked at some of the pictures. Apparently, that's the only place to hang out there. Either that or the woods. The unemployment rate in Hiltonia is 81% higher than the national average, and the poverty level is 140% higher than the national average. And it's out in the sticks. Not a good place to live. Number 3. Swainsboro. Swainsboro, Georgia was named in recognition of Stephen Swain, the state senator who introduced the bill for the county's creation in 1812. In other words, they were hurried to come up with a name, or they lacked any creativity. He introduced the bill, nothing more. State senators don't get whole towns named after him. Maybe a small park, not a whole town. Then I saw what this town looks like and how small it is, and it's fitting. It's out in the woods and really not a lot going on there. I get the feeling they have more empty stores than occupied stores in this place. The poverty level in Swainsboro is 181% higher than the national average. Go Swainsboro. Number 2. Girard. Girard, Georgia is a very small town not too far from the South Carolina border. The place is so small, it only has like 30 buildings, and 20 of those are like sheds and garages. I get the feeling if you pulled over the side of the road here in a motorhome and parked, nobody would complain if you stayed for 3 years. You might start getting your mail there eventually, and it actually might just be someone's property. It's a lot of open space here and a lot of rundown buildings. On a serious note about Girard, they have an organization that rescues animals. The county is almost the size of Rhode Island, and it has no animal control service, so it kind of falls on them. They're called Girard Lifesavers, and I'll leave a link below. If you want to donate, go ahead. I did. They're doing good work. And number 1, Sardis. Sardis, Georgia is one of the worst graded small towns in Georgia. Area Vibe rated at 44. Considering I've been looking at AreaVibe.com's stats on a daily basis for over a year, Sardis is the second lowest I've found. The other was 39, and it was in New Jersey. To give you perspective on that, most people consider Detroit one of the worst cities in the country. It got a 50. Sardis got a 44. The poverty level in Sardis is 194% higher than the national average, and only 67% of the residents have completed the 8th grade. On a positive side of Sardis, while researching this video, I came across tons of videos of very talented local gospel singers. They got a nice church scene there with great singers. That's not my type of music, but even I was impressed. They should be proud of that. Sardis is probably one of the worst places in Georgia you could live as far as small towns go. Alright, so that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. I've got all my links below, including my new channel, In a Nutshell. Don't forget about that one. First video is coming out next week. Everybody have a good day. Be nice to each other.